What is good, everybody? It is another month. That means a brand new Ask 343 has come out. This is where community submitted questions get answered by members of the Halo Infinite development team. Unyshek sat down this time with the audio team over at 343 and asked questions to Chase Thompson, the lead audio technical designer over there, Joel Yarger, music supervisor, and Kyle Fraser, the lead sound designer. Lots of cool things to cover. The link for this whole 30-minute video will be in the description. Keep an eye on Twitter because you from the community can submit upcoming questions for the next Ask 343. My hype, very high, went through the whole video, wrote down my notes, wanted to share with you guys the things that stood out to me, some of the cool, interesting facts, and also the really nifty tidbits that jumped out at me. Summary, getting really excited for Infinite, and I think this game is going to sound absolutely amazing. Not just the music, but that sound design. So the first question that really stood out to me was asking about this new audio system, right? How it handles enemy fire or footsteps or sounds from another wall or another part of the map. Will there be some baffling or muting or different muffling effects to those sounds depending upon if somebody is 1 or 2 walls away? And the answer is yes, because of the new acoustic system, even other rooms or other sides of the walls, sounds will be appropriately muted and muffled, which is pretty darn cool. The second question or early on was asking, will there be some somber and emotional tunes within Halo Infinite? And the answer was a resounding yes. It sounds like the team is working very hard to bring in legacy elements from some of the earlier Halo games. Really had some of those heartstring moments, wake me when you need me kind of stuff. And so while there will be somber and emotional tunes, they cannot share anything more at this time. And they're doing a very good job trying not to offer any spoilers through these Ask 343 videos, which I like a lot. Now, interestingly enough, the charged plasma pistol sound from older Halos, will it be present? And this is an answer that deserves a clip.
Yeah, when we kind of initially sat down, we were trying to kind of brainstorm different sounds that we could bring back from the kind of original trilogy. This was definitely kind of high on the list. But the sound is just, it has a lot of character, it has a really strong sense of nostalgia. And so, yeah, we definitely decided to kind of weave it into our aesthetic, into our designs. And it worked out really well. It didn't feel kind of jarring. It didn't feel forced in any manner. And so what you kind of have is when you charge up the plasma pistol, you'll get kind of a nice, satisfying, high-tech lineup. And then before it's fully charged, you'll get the kind of swell of the hum that goes into this hum loop. And you kind of get some nice, crackling plasma and whatnot. But yeah, I think you guys will dig it. It's a nice iteration on the plasma pistol.
That is awesome to hear.
Big hype, very excited. I know it's sort of maybe a little thing for certain people, but there's something cool about the respect of the legacy of the old sounds, as well as trying to integrate it in a new way. We also got a lot of information about the new threat prioritization system in the audio design. So essentially, we got a little bit more information about how the teammate audio versus enemy audio will be prioritized within the play space. Basically, yeah, the biggest threat to you is going to be the loudest versus in the past where your teammates' noises are going to be the loudest. And we learned as well, this audio system that does sort of prioritize the threats includes footsteps for yourself, your teammates, your enemies, as well as the fire of teammates and enemies and yourself. And the system is constantly adapting, trying to guess or infer what the largest threat to you is at this time and convey that sound to you. This one sounds really interesting, and if it comes together in a playable way, very impressive. I really need to experience this though, I think, for players to get a full grasp on it, but it is very cool to know that the sound that's being communicated to you from a design standpoint is something that will give you the best feedback at the right time, or at least hopefully that's the case. We also heard that the music will be adaptive. Similar to the threat prioritization system, in previous Halos, the music adapted somewhat to what the player was doing at different player states, right? Again, we heard that the music will adapt to player intention. That game engine will react to that perceived player intention, whether a big fight's about to happen, or maybe the action is unfolding, or maybe you come across an area you've not seen before. It sounds like the music system is also going to be tracking alongside, which is just insane when you think about it, man. All these subsystems at play while you're just getting to be Master Chief doing your thing. It's pretty mind-blowing, all the little stuff under the hood that's happening. We also heard a little bit further again about this audio prioritization system when it comes to teammate audio versus the enemies. And cool enough, the sounds of a returning flag will come to you in 3D based around where that flag is in relation to you in the game space. I can't wait to experience this. I want to know what that sounds like. Very nerdy, very cool. Along the same line of thought, how does object source and size play into both sound design and threat priority? And there was a really cool answer here that I sort of want to showcase.
How does object source size play into both design and threat priority?
Yeah, we actually went back and forth a lot. We iterated like crazy on this system, and we built the system in such a way that we could iterate like that really rapidly. So we actually built a lot of different types of threats that contribute to the threat system. So the way that it works is each biped in the game, each character in the game, has various different types of threats that we're tracking. So some of them are who they're targeting, where they're aiming, how far away they are, and one of those types of threats that we tried out was just the inherent scariness of that object. So things like what type of character is it? What type of weapon do they have? What type of vehicle are they in? And we tried that out, and it actually didn't quite achieve the goals that we were looking for. So what we determined was, in playtesting and iterating back and forth a lot over a long time, was that the most important factor was just who's about to deal damage to you. Who's got the most capacity for damage at that exact moment. And that's what we're highlighting. So we tried it and determined that it didn't actually quite achieve the goals, and it wasn't quite prioritizing the right threats. And so we took that out and went with the system that we have today.
Very cool. Thank you for diving into a little bit of the trial and error that is game development there. I'm sure whoever asked that question will appreciate the extra insight there.
We learned that the sound design for your vehicles, depending on their damage state, will change. As you get further and further along with more damage, spark sounds, steam, wobbly noises, and then a doomsday alarm that lets you know you need to bail out of that vehicle before it explodes. A later question was asking, will there be different voice packs like in Halo 5 available within Halo Infinite? So if you didn't play Halo 5 later on, different announcer voice packs were available for the different game modes and multiplayer. Pretty cool concept, reminds me a lot of some of the StarCraft 2 voice packs. They have some things they are working on, but nothing that they can share as of yet. So for maybe down the road, who knows, okay? But that would be interesting. I imagine there's probably spoilers surrounding this. Jeff Steitzer, however, is going to be the announcer for multiplayer. He's back for voiceover. That was confirmed. Pretty exciting. And then a very cool question here. Will the music within Infinite be DMCA free? Now, they cannot make any commitments right now, and they can't offer any firm yes or no's. However, they did say it is their intention. They can't make any promises yet, but their intent is yes to make it so content creators can use the music in their work. Huge props, super cool, protecting streamers and honestly giving content creators a really awesome option to be able to utilize it. And in general, Halo's very, very good about this, like with their music online. I know if you guys watch other big creators, I rarely use the Halo music in my videos, but every once in a while I will. And there's just a lot of, I don't know, cool stuff about how they've handled it in the past. And finally, really cool, the Halo 2 BR sound. A little bit of inspiration from that, as well as a lot of other modern day weapons that you can check out within this interview to learn about how the Halo Infinite BR sound came to be. Overall, a really cool insight, another awesome month of Ask343. I think this is a very cool concept, and I would hope that they can continue this even after the launch of Infinite. Once players have time with the game, and you understand and know what's going on, it would be pretty cool to have an ongoing dialogue with the developers about certain community questions, balance issues or, design choices post-launch or what they're thinking about post-launch, all that jazz. So what do you guys think about this? Are you getting excited for Halo Infinite? Are there any questions that stood out to you? Let me know about it down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, do the YouTube stuff. And also, if you want to check out the full interview, link is in the description. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk with you again very soon.